Let's get to the game of the weekend, college or NFL, and that was Ravens
Sure.
versus the Bills. Lamar Jackson, 14 for 19, 209 yards, two touchdowns. Josh Allen, 33 for 46, two touchdowns, 394 yards. Most importantly, Josh Allen in the fourth quarter, 16 for 21, 269 total yards, and three touchdowns. Ravens blow a 40 to 25 lead. Derrick Henry's probably running back one again this year.
Probably.
I don't want to blame the game on just Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson. I think the Ravens just have to get stops. But the progression that Lamar Jackson has made as a starting quarterback, the questions that analysts and experts wanted to ask his first 1 or 2, 3 years in the league versus the kind of the questions that are being answered or asked of him now is just kind of it's great to see. Like I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's the most exciting football player the NFL has ever seen. But
Hmm.
the questions were of him as a pocket quarterback passer, and he's passed that with an A+ rating. Obviously, you don't have to say anything about him running or being hurt. He is the best at avoiding big hits that anybody I've ever seen play the game of football. But there's something about that Ravens. I don't know if it's the personnel, the coaching, the late game
Hmm.
blunders, but you saw the stat. And I think Harbaugh has now lost 17 games when he's been leading by more than double digits, and
Hmm.
clearly that's clearly a preparation thing. That's clearly a schematics thing at halftime because that just shouldn't be happening.
We'll stay on this because there are a lot of storylines to touch on. With the Ravens specifically, what it feels like is draw another basketball parallel, like an old Golden State Warriors team before KD came there. When it was like against the Cavs and the game slowed down, got to the half court, all of that like free flowing, shoot a three, make it, play transition basketball, all that went away.
Yeah.
And you watch Steph Curry really couldn't create. Klay Thompson really wasn't effective. Draymond Green couldn't do it. And so you had like Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston trying to get like tough buckets. And it was just like kind of hard to watch. You knew, yeah, LeBron's probably going to get one here. They just can't create at the end of the game. It feels like with the Ravens, that's the case as well, where it gets tight and like all that free flowing, like Derrick Henry might take you for 60, Lamar might
Right.
throw or run for 60.
Yeah.
All of that kind of goes away and it gets tight. And the play calling is what the play calling is. But like the other team has Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, pick whoever you want. That guy can come back and beat you. And that defense knows that. We get a stop, we win this game potentially. And we're down two scores with 5 minutes left,
Right.
and we still might win.
Right.
And so I think with the Ravens, it's you either have to be incredibly aggressive the entire game, which that bites teams, or you have to like get under the center and give Derrick Henry the ball downhill 3 plays in a row,
And
drain
just
the
chew the
clock,
clock.
and
Yeah.
like and you just have to expect that. I can't have Lamar Jackson running or maybe potentially throwing and taking a huge sack or just any weird thing that happens with them. But like again, you put the ball in Derrick Henry's hands, he fumbles. That's a weird thing that happens. If I'm a Ravens fan, it sucks that we lost, but I'm also very encouraged because
Yeah.
40 to 25 with 5 minutes left. Any other team that's a win, and that didn't look like they did anything special other than like run the ball and then hit a couple seams down the field.
Right. So Derrick Henry goes for 18 carries, 169 yards. Obviously, that big fumble. Zay Flowers had a huge game at seven
He did.
receptions, 143 yards. DeAndre Hopkins has the one-hand catch
It
that
was
he's
sick.
been doing for years. Keon Coleman was a
Yeah.
bright spot in this game. 8 receptions, 112 yards. Khalil Shakir had 5 receptions for 64. Dalton Kincaid, 4 receptions for 48. Josh Palmer, 5 for 61. I mean, Josh Allen was dealing, and I mean, this is the quarterback play that we grew up on. The Tom Brady, the
Mhm.
Peyton Manning, the Drew Brees. We're down two scores. It's the fourth quarter, but you can't count us out because all we need is you to make one mistake. And that one mistake was made, and Josh Allen proved why he's the MVP and why he might be the best quarterback in the league right now is because there's no lead
Mhm.
that's safe. There's no throw he can't make, and he has all the guts in the world and all the confidence in the world in his team that they're going to jump on his back and he's just going to lead them. And
Mhm.
next thing you know, they're winning the game down 40 to 25 with 6 minutes left or however much time was
Five
left.
minutes left. Yeah.
And 269 total yards in the fourth quarter. I mean, 16 for 21, and it was a better stat line than most of the QBs that we've talked about this weekend. He did that in the fourth quarter. Yes, they're down and he has to throw the ball a lot, but I mean, James Cook even had 5 receptions for 58 yards. So everybody touched it. And I think as much as we like to talk about the Ravens have the best roster, or oh, the Bills lost this, they lost that. Well, they just got Bosa on defense.
Hmm.
Like their defense looks pretty good. Like, let's be honest here, stopping Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, that tandem is probably one of the single most dangerous tandems we've ever seen in league history. Like, you've
Hmm.
never seen a team with that type of quarterback and that type of running back playing on the same team. And so, yeah, you don't want to give up 40 points a week. You're never going to win like that. But the Bills having the ability to come back like that with the weapons and the roster that they do have and the roster that people claim they don't have, I think it's pretty impressive, even if they're at home, even if it is week one.
I if you look at and watching the game is one thing, looking at the box score is another. Sometimes you watch the game and things look different than the box score says. Sometimes you watch the game and then you look at the box score and you go, holy shit, the Bills scored 7 points in the first quarter,
Right.
six second quarter, six in the third quarter. And so the Ravens, by contrast, 17 in the second, 14 in the third, and then
Right.
six in the fourth. And the Bills scored 22 in the fourth quarter. And so, like, I'm just watching it, and yes, the Bills came back. I didn't think they played particularly great up until when they absolutely had to start
Well, I
slinging the
had
ball
to.
down the field.
Right.
And to me, that's always a bad sign where it's like, yes, yes, they came back and they won. I can't take that away at all. But
Mhm.
I'm looking at a team that was down 15 points, and they had 25 points in the fourth. So I'm like, I'm not saying that they didn't score enough points. I wasn't overall. Again, the first drive, like a hot knife through butter on Ravens defense. It didn't make any sense. I couldn't stop him. And then after that, it was kind of like, it's just
Mm.
okay.
Right.
And I'm looking at Josh Allen thinking, is this the best we're gonna get? I'm looking at Lamar like probably gonna get his third MVP, and this could be a Super Bowl campaign. And then they kind of crumble at the end, and so the script flips in the last. I guess when it's the most important, but
Right.
I'm not looking at the Bills and super impressed by the first three quarters, which for the most part is your scheme, what you prepared for, and what you thought would work. In the fourth quarter, it's fuck it, we gotta sling it, put the ball in our best player's hands. That's a recipe for like when you're down late. But how many other teams are you going to be down 15 points
Right.
and come back with 5 minutes left? Some teams are just not going to, they're going to get one first down on you. And by the way, the Keon Coleman touchdown catch was tipped off of his own guy, and then it could have been
Right.
intercepted. Like that game could have been over right there. And the guy just on the ground catches the football and it's a touchdown. So there are a lot of like fortunate breaks. I'm not as high on the Bills in that. And I think the Bills probably are a Super Bowl, like that's who I'd picked to win Super Bowl. I wasn't impressed with them, and they came back and it was cool, but I wasn't a fan of how it happened the first three quarters because it was just real ugly and just wasn't the game of football that I expected from Josh Allen until the very end of the game, to which then it's superhero mode and it's just different.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I think like it's just the narratives can flip in an instant. If Derrick Henry doesn't fumble the ball, we're talking about Lamar and Derrick Henry as the best
Yes.
1-2 punch in league history. Like I just said, like
Yes.
that those headlines are definitely real on a Monday like today. But you got to play until the end.
True.
This guy is an MVP for a reason, and he's quarterback one or quarterback two, depending on how you look at it. And I think starting off this year, he's got to be QB1 going into the next 16 weeks in the NFL.
Yeah, and I look at Lamar like he's three.
Oh yeah,
Like I don't like I think that that group is Joe Burrow unfortunately doesn't have the roster to compete, but like I think you look at these three, it's Lamar, then it's Josh, and I'm putting Patrick at one because of
Patrick for
see what he
sure.
does because he does what Josh Allen just did, but he does it to Josh Allen. So
Right,
like I have
yeah.
to put that guy as one. But I super impressed with the quarterback play. Again, like you said, had the Ravens come back or held on to that lead and won, the conversation would be very, very different. I'm looking at this and thinking, okay, which one of these teams ends up being more healthy at the end of the year?
Mm.
Like who can stay and not have
The
as many
name of the game in
injuries?
the NFL, yeah.
And
Yeah.
like in that and like that is just it. So I'm really excited about both of these teams and where they're going to end up. I think the Ravens being 0-1 is a disservice to how they played, but we can't sit here and look at is it John Harbaugh?
Hmm.
Like in his record of losing, is it 17 games with double digit lead in the fourth quarter or second half? Like I can't not see that. There's a certain amount of tightness that happens with to his teams when
Oh
things
yeah.
get going a
It, ha-
little
it
bit.
it's
And the
very
playoffs too.
it's very glaring in the playoffs too, which has been the problem. It's not that, oh, you lose in the playoffs, it's one game and you're out. It's no, how you guys look from, it's like the Houston Rockets almost. It's like the
Yeah.
James Harden thing. You look amazing in the regular season,
Right.
playoffs come around, it's just a totally different thing. And so I really do like the Ravens this year. I still like them to be in the AFC Championship, whether that is against the Bills or the Chiefs. I think they're going to be that standalone team. And I could see this being the only game that the Ravens lose all season, or at
It
least
looked
come
like it.
close.
It
So it's
looked
like,
like it.
so I mean, who knows? After that, if they were to win that game, you could probably only count them in for maybe one or two losses the rest of the way. And so, like I said, the game's flipping an instant, but Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, you could blame it on Derrick Henry, but I mean, those two are going to be a problem all season.
Can Derrick Henry stay healthy the entire
I
season?
mean, yeah, I mean, who knows? I want to say yes because that's what I wish health on everybody, but who knows? I don't know how much they're going to actually, rely on him to pick up these second and third down runs, but they have the depth, and I think they definitely they showed how good they can be, but they also
Mhm.
showed like why they do win or why they do lose in certain games and why they just haven't been to the Super Bowl because of shit like that.
So if you're, we talk about this with the Steelers and the Jets, where it's like defense was a humongous concern for these two offenses putting up the numbers they put up.
Right.
Do you have a concern for the Buffalo Bills defense or the Ravens
I have
defense,
a
or is this just
concern.
elite quarterback play?
Probably it's both. I think it's elite quarterback play, but like if you look at a guy like Jair Alexander who has that play at the end, and it's like,
Yeah,
what are
two in
you
a
looking
row.
at? Yeah, it's
It's
like,
like
what
two
are
in a
you looking
row.
at? Like you're a Jair Alexander, like you're an all-pro guy, like or at least you used to be. Like, and you get traded to the Ravens, and everybody's like, oh my God, Jair Alexander on the Ravens. It's like, well, in the NFL, when guys get traded, that you're usually the last to find out about why this guy got traded. And then you see on the field, it's like, oh, this guy can't play in man anymore. Oh, this guy's getting lost with the ball in the air, a double move, and this guy's lost. And I'm not gonna say that Jair Alexander is washed, but this is not the Green Bay Jair Alexander that we're getting. You got Nate Wiggins, you've got Patrick Queen, you've got guys on
Kyle Hamilton.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton, who might be one of the better defensive players in all of the NFL.
Hmm.
Like they have the pieces. I think, unfortunately, you just run into these good quarterbacks where, I mean, it's what we grew up on. The Phillip Rivers, the Drew Brees, the guys that, I mean, Drew Brees won, but they couldn't necessarily win all the time. But you're going to get a hell of a game out of them. And, the team might score 28 to 30 something points. And that's just because that's just the quarterback. Like in the NBA, we see all the time. Like you got certain guys are just gonna get 30, like no matter
Right.
what the circumstance is. And I think some of these quarterbacks,
Carmelo.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you give them enough time, like if you don't have the pass rush is not going that way, then you're gonna get carved up. It just depends on who's gonna make that mistake. And unfortunately, it happened to be Derrick Henry. Sometimes it's Lamar fumbling. This time it was Derrick Henry.